Well, there you go. Yes, your eyes didn't deceive you. That bicycle frame is also the pump. Joe Diomede here, Telemann. It's been a little bit of an absence of interviews for a while, but I'm sitting here with Joel, who is the co-inventor or inventor of this frame here, which is a bicycle frame, and the frame itself is filled with compressed air, and it's a pump. So Joel, come here, come closer to me in this land of contact. Sorry, we're contacting again. And here we go. So Joel, tell me about yourself anyway. How did you wind up in the bike world? How did you wind up here in beautiful Ariège? And how did I wind up behind the microphone with you?
Basically, I have good friends, I think. I started studying design, product design, and out of the studies, I worked a lot on bikes. I was always passionate about bikes. That's what I enjoy the most, the liberty it gives you. And so for the Concours des Machines 2018, we made this bike with Johan L'Oncle. And he was basically an engineer who, same as me in the corporate design, industrial engineering, thought he was more close to craftsmanship. And he started his own bike company, building cargo bikes, like I actually did also with another friend. And so we ended up doing this bike, and we thought like, okay, Pêche-Trégon gave us a lot of projects to work on for this concours, and we ended up like saying, okay, we need to integrate a pump within the frame. So how to get the hole somewhere, and as an engineer, Johan told me, yeah, if you put a hole there, it will be complicated. So we basically focused on just welding it airtight, adding some shredder valve, which is basically just a
car valve.
And inflate the air. And the first part we were like, whoa, how much can it take? And then we were calculating, because he's like an engineer, and actually it can take 150 bars.
Wow. So you got a lot of pressure in that. And so what's the use?
But the thing is, we charge it with our normal floor pump, and normal floor pumps don't go up more than 11, 15 bars. So we need only 11 bars. We have around 1 liter in this frame, which is a prototype. We're going into series with a hardtail and a gravel bike, like massive 200-piece series.
So instead of talking bars and everything, how many, so that amount of bars, how many tires can you fill up?
I can fill up 3 with 1 liter, and I could fill up more with the next bike.
Right. Okay, and now, so people out there might be saying, so what's the use of that? Because they're thinking, maybe in the bike world, I have my pump on my bike. So what's the upside, and what are you trying to reach with this bike? Self-sufficiency?
Yeah, the thing is this. I hate riding with this. I want to ride bikes, not to carry load. It's a sport for me, and it's something I enjoy to do and have the maximum freedom and agility. And I want to have my bike self-sufficient. My bike should be on its own. If you have, like here, we have other products coming out, like here, and like this shit shovel system. It's all about how to have stuff you need to eat, to drink, to shit.
A little of everything. It's all natural. It all happens.
Yeah, but then I can ride like this, and I don't need anything more. So it's more a question of liberty. I think biking should be about liberty.
Okay.
Not about anything else.
So biking about liberty, and so you got the air. So the air is in his frame, and he mentioned before the shit shovel. So basically, this pops off, and you need a little skill to get it off, and then you don't need skill to do the other thing. And so you dig your little hole and do your business and cover it up, and there you go, voila. People might not think of, do I need that on a bike? But if you're out there all day, 8 hours on a bicycle, and you're traveling, and you're in the woods, and you're in beautiful places, you don't want to leave your mark or be followed by bears, yeah?
Exactly. For example, in British Columbia, they have this big issue with bears. But here we are in the Ariège, so it's okay. It's not that bad. But it's more like a question of freedom and leaving no trace. I mean, sometimes the biggest mistake I think of the mountain bike is to react badly, to say, okay, but we harm the trails. We do use them. So there is a part of us that uses the nature to induce pleasure. That's why we ride hardtails. We don't ride full suspension bikes, because they go beyond your capabilities, and e-bikes is like the e-mountain bikes. Let's be really honest. E-mountain bikes, we will never make e-mountain bikes. We can't. It's like behind our idea of mountain biking. It's not freedom. You depend on electricity. You are on top. You don't arrive at your own. It's not your own. It's like, that's why I love this part about gravel and bike packing and this whole scene. We talked about it. You had the first gravel bike. I mean, you're like one of the guys who just made this happen. And I think the whole idea behind this is to go out more and to travel and to discover and to be free and not to depend on electricity or batteries. Or I work as a freelance designer, and I designed the e-bike. I did like an e-mountain bike, and then I received it and it didn't work. Why? Because the program was not working and the battery could burn. And it's like, there's all this, we talked about industry, and there's all this part about the car industry with Bosch and Yamaha and Fantic with more motorcycle, or KTM, which are really going into this market. And it's weird because at Eurobike you see people with dressed like bankers.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing here? And it takes kind of the edge off. So all the independent bikers are getting more organized because they realize the automotive industry is getting into it. But it's really interesting. I think it's a good time to be in the mountain biking industry, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree, Joel. I mean, you're plugging my book. I mean, I just wrote a book called Cycling Off the Cliff and How to Avoid It. And I touch on all these subjects. It's, the bike is about freedom. The bike is about, just self-sufficiency. It's about propelling yourself. I understand 80-year-old guy who needs a battery to get up a hill. Great, perfect.
Okay.
But again,
I'm pretty happy because now I know in 50 years I can still ride a bike.
Good, very good.
Actually, I mean, there is something about humans which we need something to help us. But when I see a kid that's 15 thinking about buying an e-bike, I'm like, okay, that's wrong. That's really bad. You should thinking about getting a hardtail, getting stoked on a small jump you build yourself, which is dodgy like you do.
That's my son, not me.
Sorry, but it's true. It's not dodgy. Actually, I'm looking forward to the next track. But Ariège is a great place to ride. Actually, it's a really great place. I understand why you're here.
Yeah. Well, it's a good place to be. Louis, can you give a quick pan of our local market? So this is our local market going on at the moment, post-confinement. And and so here we are in beautiful Ariège. Joel, thank you. So self-sufficiency, frame integrated into the bike pump. Oh, actually, Mother Nature's calling. I might use his thing. Where do you think? Well, you just saw where we are, so maybe I could use it somewhere. Okay, very good, Joel. Thank you very much, and we look forward. And just quickly, name of the bike, when's it coming out?
Shoka on the 2nd of October.
And how can people find it? Is there a website?
Shoka Instagram, shoka.insta.
Shoka, S-H-O-K-A.
C-H-O-K-A.
C-H-O-K-A.
You got it
There
here.
you go. Shoka. Yeah!
It's a bird, actually. It's a bird. It's a mountain bird, the shoka, which only has the air-inflated bones. So it's really strong and resistant and agile. And it appears only in the Alps and the Pyrenees, like mountains, basically. And I was born in the Alps and raised in the Pyrenees, so...
My mountain man. Okay, I got my shovel. I'm ready to roll. Joe Diomede coming at you from Montbron. Tell them Montbron. Thank you.